I'm with Richard McGinnis. We are in Louisville, Kentucky. Appropriately pronounced Louisville, not Louisville for everybody. We've been through this on the vlog. This is not Richard's first appearance on the vlog. He was on the mentorship. Richard is one of our retired international tax partners. You were a partner for how many years?
20? No, that's not true. I have no idea.
For a long time. A long time.
26 years.
And you've been retired for?
Over 3.
So Richard is now one of our consultants with us. Richard is good at a lot of things. He has a lot of amazing tax talents. One of the things that you are not so good at is retirement. I just wanted to share. This week we are talking with my viewers about exercise, diet. I had some questions from some of my viewers as far as, how do I try to stay fit when I'm on the road? Richard and I were talking last night, and you mentioned that you have 1 million miles on every major U.S. carrier, right? On Delta, United, American. So if you think I'm a road warrior, I've been doing this for, 5 years or so as far as this type of travel schedule. You did it for what, 20? Almost 30?
Yeah.
So, when did you kind of realize that you needed to start being much more mindful of diet and exercise in your career?
Well, I was fortunate that 2 things happened in a very close time frame. One was I went on a family vacation, and we went to New Mexico, and were at a high altitude and doing some hiking, and my wife would take pictures of my kids and me, and I looked like a whale, and I just was physically just out of control in terms of trying to keep up and just be exhausted. I looked horrible in all the pictures, and she didn't take any pictures of herself because she takes all the pictures. So
I've got a similar situation,
yeah.
Other than my videos.
So that happened, and then the firm, this was in 1999, and the firm was introducing a program for partners that they felt were under a certain amount of stress. And it was a pilot program, and they identified people that they thought were at risk, and I got to be in the first class. So it wasn't just me that thought this. So it turned out that in the fall of September of 1999, having been on this trip in August, I went to a class for 3 days about exercise and diet and stress, and the upshot of that was I had a conversation with a trainer. One of the people that they had for us to talk to was a personal trainer, and I explained that I traveled all the time, and I just didn't have time to, and in those days, if you traveled, there was no hotel gym, right? It wasn't like you could check into a hotel and be sure there would be a gym and you could exercise.
Oh, so that's a newer phenomenon, the hotel gyms.
Yes, it was not pervasive.
Okay. Because now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Lower to high tier hotels, you find them everywhere.
And so this guy said, well, that's just an excuse. I can give you an exercise that you can do in your hotel room. You don't need, all you need is a stretchy band. I have one with me. And you can do this exercise, and there's no excuse for you not exercising, the travel and all that. That's just you making up excuses. So he gave me this exercise routine, and in the fall of 1999, I started doing it every day, and I've missed probably a dozen or fewer days in the last 18 years.
So you do this 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
So I try to exercise, as you know, I'm trying to do 3 days a week is my, I did miss this morning. I did miss this morning. But, so 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
And you never have to go to the gym. Everything can always be done just whenever you wake up.
Yep.
And what is the routine? What kind of exercise?
It's a series of exercises, and my wife has chided me that I'm doing exactly the same exercises for the last 18 years, 19 years, and shouldn't I talk to somebody about, are there other exercises I should be doing? I haven't done that. So it's 7 exercises, and when I first started out, it was these 7 exercises, and you said try and do 10 of each thing. and try and do it 3 times. And during the period, try and fill out the minute with some sort of aerobic exercise. So do 10 push-ups, and for the rest of a minute, run in place, do jumping jacks, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And so 7 exercises, a minute per exercise, 3 times, 21 minutes. That was the starting point. I admit the first time I tried to do 10 push-ups, I did. But the second rep, I couldn't do the 10 push-ups. So I kept trying, and I kept trying. And this morning I did 11 repetitions of 50 of each of the 7 exercises. So I did 550 push-ups, 550 sit-ups.
555 or 550.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to give you an extra 5.
No.
But 550 is pretty impressive.
So, but it's 11 reps. I don't know. I'm on 11 because I just keep expanding.
Keep adding.
11 reps of 50 for each of the 7 exercises, and about 1,200 jumping jacks.
So what about diet on the road? So I know when
I first started, I weighed about 70 pounds more than I do now. And it was because I was eating everything they put in front of me on the road. So you get on a plane, they give you nuts, they give you a snack, they give you
ice cream. I cook. The chocolate chip cookies are still hard for me to resist.
And you go to dinner and with a client, and you'd eat, a big meal, and thered be a lunch that they would bring in, and there'd be sandwiches and chips and cookies and no ice cream. Although
occasionally you get some root beer
ice cream. Yeah. But so for about 9 months back in '99 and 2000, I did not eat a single thing that was given to me on a plane, and I did not take any alcohol. And those 2 things and exercising every day, I lost 70 pounds. And got down to essentially the weight that I am today.
So you had a heart issue.
I had a heart attack
a couple years ago. So talk about how long ago
was it?
Quite a
while ago now. It's 6 years.
6 years. I've completely lost track of time. I think that's some of that's Kelly and I don't have kids, so I have no place markers in life. But okay, so it was 6 years ago.
6.5 years ago.
I can't believe we've been working together this long. So talk a little bit about that experience, and then how exercise kind of influenced that.
I had a heart attack. I had a break in my left descending artery, which is the one that feeds the heart, and it was a little tear in the artery, which caused a clot, which the body rejects the mucus that comes in from a cracked artery and attacks it. So that really, I think that's a design flaw. But the clot caused a clot, which took all the blood away from my heart, and so they had to go with a catheter. It was kind of cool. They took a thing up my leg and into my heart and sucked the clot out, and presto. But the doctor said that about 90% of the people who get exactly what I had die, and that your heart is like any other muscle, and if you don't exercise your heart, it will not respond well to stress, and that probably the only thing that saved me from being one of the 90% is that I exercised every day.
Well, Richard, you're it's inspiration for me. You've helped, and it's interesting because it was some photos that I saw of myself, because I'm down about 20, almost 25 pounds from my heaviest, and was just struggling to keep up with Kelly on doing, because we like to hike and just walking around. And so the 7 days a week I'm not even close to, but I think I might need to up my game from 3 days a week. But
to me, it's just a compulsion. I feel like if I ever stop, if I don't do one day, then I'll never do it again.
Yeah, and I don't do the band. Maybe I need to just try. We've talked about that. Maybe I just need to but it's hard for me to actually exercise in the hotel room. That seems a little odd. I like going to the gym and doing the different machines or whatever. But well, you've been a great inspiration, a fantastic mentor, a great technical mentor, and then also on the exercise and personal front. So, Richard McGinnis, ladies and gentlemen. Richard, thanks for joining the Doug McConey vlog.